All right, guys. Today we've got Andrew Wilson calmly taking apart another boss babe fairy tale. This one's interesting, though, because she's not just throwing buzzwords. She's emotionally invested in this whole I had to do it all myself narrative. But when you actually listen, it's a story full of contradictions, entitlement, and emotional manipulation. Let's break it down.
What is it about you that you think is so great a man should turn over his entire wallet to you?
I'm looking for a partner. I didn't say I want someone to turn over his entire wallet to me. And you're taking this out of context because I'm telling you that I've had to be a boss babe by choice because I don't have parents, I don't have anyone else, and I've
had to be a boss babe by choice?
I had to be a boss babe out of desperation, out of survival.
Well, then that's
because
not a choice.
I had to survive.
Okay.
Well, I could have gone into drugs. I could have, my life could have gone in a lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. But I pulled myself out of it and made a successful career. I raised an amazing son, and I've put him through school, and I'm still putting him through school, and I'm still providing for him.
What was the thing that forced this necessity exactly?
Because I don't have parents. They died when I was young.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of people who don't have parents, including a lot of women, don't end up becoming boss babes. What made you have to actually be a boss babe?
Because I had to take care of my son.
Yeah, why would that require being a boss? Well, what is a boss babe, first of all? What is that?
A woman that's successful in her career.
Strong, independent black woman that don't need no.
That's it? Well, I mean, but that would include basically just any woman who has a job and is held in, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, how's that being a boss babe?
But for someone to be able to survive on her own income and raise a kid in Los Angeles, that's pretty boss in my opinion.
Boss.
What makes that boss?
Because I made it work and I didn't take money from anyone else.
Yeah, I'm not sure
TTS
though.
TTS is 100.
So, let's back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So you're raising the kid by yourself. This is because you're.
I mean, financially, so his dad did help a little bit in high school, but financially, the burden has been on me.
Okay, gotcha. And then, but you've had joint custody, all of this?
Yeah. And
Okay,
he is
so
a good father. He's a good father. He's just not financially, he wasn't a good provider. So my past is dictating what I want in the future. That's why I want a man that's a provider and a protector, because I haven't had that.
Yeah, no.
But you're trying to come at me like I'm some chick that wants a handout, and that's not it at all.
See, this is where it gets interesting. She's not talking about empowerment. She's talking about compensation. Her logic is basically, because I suffered, I now deserve ease. But relationships don't work on reparations. They work on reciprocity. And let's be real. Raising a kid alone doesn't automatically make you a boss. For all we know, she chose that situation, or pushed the man out. We don't know, and that's the point. Modern women love to rewrite their stories so they're always the hero. Don't glamorize single motherhood like it's proof of strength. Turning pain into identity isn't power. It's just avoidance. This is what happens when personal responsibility gets swapped for victimhood. The problem isn't that she struggled. Lots of people go through hard times without turning it into a moral trophy. But for modern women, that's become the new currency. Victimhood as virtue. And notice, when they say boss babe, it's never about values, discipline, or loyalty. It's always about money. That's why standards have collapsed. Nobody wants to be accountable anymore. They just want to be celebrated for coping.
Wait, you have had a provider.
Well, okay.
No, I didn't.
Actually,
no one provided for me.
You went on a dinner date that cost like $3,000.
He's not paying my bills.
Wait.
I mean taking me out to dinner something is in it for him because he's enjoying the dinner also. He's not paying my bills. He's not my provider.
Wait, what's in it for him?
Oh, he loved it. He loved companionship. He says to this day, it's his
but
best.
he
the best
gets
meal.
that, and you get that.
Yeah.
So, but him paying for the dinner is one directional.
That's his choice. He's also
Wait, is that
older
your
guy.
expectation? You want to meet a guy who's willing to be a provider?
Yeah.
You want to meet a guy to pay for your bills?
Yeah. I mean, share in the responsibility with me, so it's not
No, but
all
you said
on
pay
my
for your
shoulders.
bills.
Share in the responsibility with me.
So what,
Brian?
90%, 10%?
I don't know what the percentage is, but we would mutually figure it out based on
Well, at
our
least
goals.
it's going to be at least be 50%.
Based on our goals. And
Yeah,
what-
so it's at least going to be 50%. At least.
Why would you say that? What's at least 50?
Well, I mean, you say, I don't know what the percentage is of how much it is that I expect this guy to contribute who I want to take care of me, but it's at least going to be half, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, so I mean, if it's at least going to be 50%, then he's taking 50% of the financial burden off of you. So that's why the question keeps on coming up. Well, what is it that you're bringing that's so great that should eliminate 50% of the financial burden that had nothing to do with this person who takes it off of you that you created for you?
Well, because men of my generation feel like a man by providing for their woman.
See, that's the trick. She's not talking about masculinity. She's talking about utility. When a woman says, men feel like men by providing, what she really means is, men exist to provide for me. It's a clever linguistic trap. She frames dependency as empowerment and calls it traditional. But it's not tradition. It's entitlement dressed as nostalgia. Real men don't feel like men because they pay bills. They feel like men because they lead, protect, and build. Provision is an expression of that, not proof of it.
So you think that the thing that you bring to the table is that you're going to let them feel like a man?
Sure.
By providing for you.
But also everything else that I bring to the table.
Which is
exactly everything I discussed earlier.
Yeah, but you think that those compensate for the 50% that he brings to alleviate this financial burden that you want to get out from under? Because that seems to be like your main thing, right?
I don't have a financial burden. It's not like I have thousands of dollars of debt. I have over an 800 credit score.
Wait, hang on. You said it's your primary motivation that you want a man to provide for you so that you don't have, quote, all of the burden on my shoulders.
Yes. I want to feel like a woman. I want to feel like a woman.
Okay, so then if he's eliminating this burden off of your shoulders, it's the financial burden.
It's also the emotional support. It's the partnership. It's having your sexy best friend.
You said, in a quote, I want him to provide for me to take the burden off of my shoulders. So if he's providing,
I want to feel provided for.
And he's handing you money, what is the burden he's taking off your shoulders? It's the financial burden. How could it be anything other than that? If that's the primary goal, the primary reasoning here is I want him to eliminate this burden. The burden is the financial burden, right?
No, it's actually the burden of not having a partner my whole life at 52 years old.
And there it is. When pressed, the burden magically shifts from financial to emotional. Classic move. First, it's, I want a man who provides. Then suddenly it's, I just want emotional support. And that word, partner. That's where it all falls apart. Because partnership sounds nice, but it really means, I want help, not hierarchy. She doesn't want to follow a man's lead. She wants him to share the weight of her own mess. Let's be honest. She's not looking for love. She's looking for relief. Relief from the consequences of her own choices. And when dependency gets rebranded as partnership, what you really end up with is one person doing the heavy lifting for two. That's not a relationship. That's a rescue mission.
Okay, so are you gonna marry a poor man you have to take care of?
Sorry, there was a motorcycle.
One more time, Andrew.
Are you gonna marry a poor man that you have to take care of?
No, I already did that.
Yeah, no.
I already did that.
So you want to marry a man who you said, quote, takes me to Europe and retires with me.
Well, or I'll move to Europe and I'll meet a man out there.
Yeah, sure, but you still want him to take the financial burden off your shoulders, right? I mean, clearly you don't want a poor man.
I do not want a poor man.
Yeah, so why don't you want a poor man? Because you want him to, quote, provide for you, correct?
Because I've been taking care of everything my whole life, the financial burden of,
Yes, the
raising
financial
a
burden.
son.
Yes, the financial burden.
Yeah.
You want him to take off the financial burden, right?
Yes. And
Yes. So if you want him to take off the financial burden, how much do you want? At least half, right?
Let's leave it.
Yes.
Okay, so if it's at least half of the financial burden that you want him to eliminate from your shoulders, they're just asking, all these people are just asking this question of, what do you think compensates him for eliminating 50% of the financial burden that you have that he's not responsible for?
It's not that. It's living with somebody that, it's not that I'm trying to give him half of my financial burden, but we're going to be
you are
together.
trying to give him half of your literally, you are trying to give him half of your financial burden. What are you talking about? How are you not? That's what you're saying you want to do, is give him half at least of your financial burden. How are you not doing that?
Okay, so what I think your listeners or your viewers are not understanding is I'm looking for a partner, and I'm looking for somebody that has the same goals and the same lifestyle and that wants the same thing too. They want their best friend. They want their best friend to live this chapter of their life.
So here's the deal. She wants you to take over her financial burden, but somehow frames it like she's doing you a favor by letting you carry it. That's exactly what's happening here. She's not looking for a partner in the sense of give and take. She wants a man to step in, handle what she's already built, and call it mutual. Half her financial weight gone, and it's somehow equal? That's not equality, that's outsourcing adulthood. And the way she spins it, I'm looking for a partner, someone with the same goals. Translation: you pay, I live my life. Dependence dressed as lifestyle compatibility. At the core, it's just someone else funding the life she's already created. This isn't partnership. It's a bailout masquerading as romance. And far too many men actually buy into it.
Just not going to let you quite get away with the pivot. How are you not trying to give this man 50% of your financial burden he's not actually responsible for currently, but in the future he will be based on your choices? You are,
but
right?
Isn't that what marriage is? Isn't that what...
I agree that it's okay for you to share your burdens with your partner.
Yeah.
Fine. Fair. That's totally fair.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to ask what your compensation for giving this guy 50% of the financial burden he's not responsible for currently is. What is the offset to that? That you think is worth it for a man to take on at least 50% of whatever your current financial burden is.
Well, because I'm going to be with a man that wants to be with me, and we have that same goal in mind because we are looking for that in life. I know what you're trying to get at, and you're trying to make it something tangible and quantify it, maybe in a dollar sign.
It is tangible,
but it is
quantifiable.
like love is not. It's something that...
I think all of these attributes that you just stated are quantifiable. Yes, I think that the financial burden you come with is totally quantifiable. I think that the goals and expectations that you have, totally quantifiable. So yes, of course, I'm quantifying them because why wouldn't you? It's a risk assessment, right? So from my perspective, I would be looking at risk assessment. How much is 50% of your life worth? If it's X amount of this amount of money, then that's going to mean X amount of this amount of time for me. So if that's the case, I would still want some sort of offset for that. Now, if you were banking on religion, I would say sure, absolutely. In a religious connotation, that's not going to matter as much. But you're not banking on religion. You said that you're just spiritual. So if this is simply transactional, either emotionally or financially transactional, then I would like to know, what does he get for 50% of your debt and life? I'd like to know.
He gets my undying love and attention and affection.
You notice how she instantly pulled the "love isn't quantifiable" card the moment Andrew brought logic into it? That's the modern escape hatch. When accountability shows up, suddenly everything becomes spiritual, emotional, intangible. Convenient, isn't it? Because deep down she knows it is quantifiable. She just doesn't want to admit that the math doesn't work in her favor. It's the same playbook every time. When a man starts thinking in terms of value, responsibility, and return, women call it transactional. But when they do it, it's love. So no, he doesn't get undying love. He gets a lifelong subscription to emotional mysticism that kicks in every time reality gets uncomfortable. Anyway, that's my take. What do you think? Is this spiritual talk just a cover for emotional manipulation? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe for more breakdowns like this.